All right, brothers and sisters, I'd like to salute you in the name of AHAYAH, bahasham, YASHAYA, Barakatham. Tonight's lesson is called Prepare Thyself for Persecution. Prepare Thyself for Persecution. And we're going to read out of 2 Maccabees chapter 7. But before we get into chapter 7, I want to kind of go through chapter 6 and hit some of the main points because you got to kind of have to read both chapters, but due to time, I'm gonna just paraphrase it. So that's we know that today that we're living in a world where they're killing our brothers and sisters. It's been a high number of police killing our people. There's an article came out November 11th in the USA Today, and it says police killings highest in 2 decades. And they're killing our people, and they're shooting them, and we have it on camera every day. You can go on YouTube and you can see somebody getting killed. But a lot of those people, I don't want to judge them, and I don't know what they're into, but a lot of the brothers and sisters that are being killed today are persecuted. They're not in this truth, but we are. Also, we're gonna eventually. We know that Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, they're trying to build up a dossier on Hebrew Israelites, and also they're going after gun owners and people that believe in freedom. And one of the things on their list is that people that believe in Bible prophecy and the return of Christ, and that's us. So we're on that list. We're on Facebook and other social media networks, and they're watching us. So we have to prepare ourselves for that time, that when the mark of the beast comes, and that we don't receive that mark. We know right now, I seen an article the other day that they just haven't quite perfected the chip yet. So they're working on it probably day and night, and to get all the little bugs out. So, the time is coming. So then let's start on Maccabees chapter 6, 2 Maccabees chapter 6. And this old man of Athens, he comes and tries to compel the Jews not to follow AHAYAH's law, but to follow the Gentiles' law, Greeks, the Romans. They want to change the temple in Jerusalem, and they want to call it Jupiter Olympius, which is they're into the fallen angels. And they get in our temple, and they start just having parties and reveling in the temple, and they got harlots everywhere. They're making sacrifices to idols, and we ain't too happy about it, and we ain't actually participated in that. So then a decree went out to the neighboring cities, and just suggested by one of the war captains, Ptolemy, if I'm saying that right, against the Jews, that if they do not do the fashions and partake in the sacrifices, that they should die. And so, like, they seen 2 women and on this wall, and the women were breastfeeding their children, and they were circumcised babies, and they threw them off the top of the wall and threw them head first, killed both the ladies. I mean, they were finding brothers and sisters that were running in the caves to keep the Sabbath, and they were burning them. They caught them. And then this wise man, a scribe of Israel, his name was Eleazar, he was favored with the Gentiles, and they liked him a lot. And when they tried to make him eat the swine flesh, he couldn't do it. but I guess some of the people were his friends, and they let him eat lawful meat, and he tried to, fake it to make it, so to speak. And they just looked the other way, and but the brother, couldn't live like a hypocrite, and he had to stand up for what he believes in. And I like the saying people always say, stand for something or you'll fall for anything. But this brother said, hey, I'm not going to fake it no more. I'm going to stand up to the king. And they killed him. And, his death, he hoped, would be an example of noble courage and a memorial of virtue to keep the commandments of the Most High and be an example to the young men of our nation. So we're going to get into Maccabees chapter 7 now. And we remember that, in John chapter 15 when Christ, said the world will hate you, but he said for us to know that it hated him first, and, that we know that they persecuted Christ first, so we will be, persecuted also. And we know that the time's coming. Let's get that real quick. It's John 16, verse 2. John chapter 16, verse 2.
St. John chapter 16, verse 2. They shall put you out of the synagogues. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth the Most High service.
So we're coming into that time where, we're out there. We're watchmen. We're out there keeping the law, and we're telling our brothers and sisters, and people aren't going to like that. I imagine a lot of Christians ain't going to like that, and they're going to, attack us. I know right now in America, I've been keeping my eye out on it. They've been having a lot of things going on with the Muslims, and they've had them in the Senate, in the White House, speaking, and they're really pushing for I think it's called Sharia law, and so those brothers, well, not brothers, but some of our people are mixed up in Islam. They might try to kill us because of what we stand for. We stand for truth and we stand for the commandments. Okay, so let's get 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken, and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips.
Okay, so these brothers right here, they were, can you hear me out?
Yeah, you cut out, but you good now.
Okay, and they were compelled to stand up against that, and so they got scourged and whipped. Now, them brothers were inspired by Eleazar not to eat that swine's flesh and not to break the law. Okay, so obviously they're being troubled right now. So let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8, and let's see what that has to say, all the way down to 10. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8, all the way to 10.
2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Verse 9. persecuted, but not forsaken, cast down, but not destroyed. Verse 10, always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord YASHAYA, that the life also of YASHAYA might be made manifest in our body.
So, we might be persecuted, but we're not going to be forsaken. Cast down, but we're not going to be destroyed. We know that, we don't fear him that can, destroy our flesh, because they can only kill us one time. We fear the Most High, and that is the beginning of wisdom. Okay, let's get verse 2. Maccabees chapter 7, verse 2.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 2. But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die, rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers.
So that brother spoke boldly, and the question I have for myself is, have I prepared myself to die, to be beheaded or be tortured? And so that's something, I've been thinking about a lot lately. And, so let's get verse 3.
Verse 3, then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot.
Yep, so this guy was mad because, hey, these brothers know they're about to die. He told them, we're ready to die. There ain't nothing you can say or do to change our mind from that. So, hey, this guy's mad, and he's going to show what he's going to do right now. So let's get verse 4.
Verse 4, which forthwith, being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
Now, I guess, if I was going to be with my family, we're about to get, slaughtered, I guess I would want to be first. Because it would be hard for me to see everybody be tortured like this. So, I just pray and hope that we don't have to go through that, but we have to prepare ourselves. Read verse 5.
Verse 5, now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire, and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus.
So, go ahead, read verse 6.
Verse 6, the Lord power looketh upon us, and in truth hath comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servant. So
they sang the song of Moses, and you could get more on that song in Deuteronomy chapter 32 and Exodus 15. We're going to go to Revelations 15 verse 1 right now, and we're gonna read about those brothers and sisters that have victory over the beast and his image and the mark. So let's go to Revelations 15 verse 1.
Revelations chapter 15 verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High.
Okay, read 2.
Verse 2. And as I saw, it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High.
So,
verse 3.
Hopefully we could make it to that, have that victory. That's what I hope. He that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So we that's the mark we're trying to get at. So let's get 3.
Verse 3. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of AHAYAH, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord power almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints.
So he's the King of the saints, and they will be singing the song of Moses on that day. Praises to AHAYAH. Let's go back to the 2nd Maccabees chapter 7, verse 7.
Verse 7. So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, Wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body?
Man, this guy, they took the skin off of his head, and they scalped him. So, and they asked him, is he going to eat? Man, I don't think he's going to eat. That's a strong brother right there, though. Go ahead, read.
Verse 8. But he answered in his own language and said, No. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order, as the former did.
Okay. Let's get the next verse.
Verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, Thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws, unto everlasting life.
Yeah, so that goes into in the Revelations when he talks about the first resurrection. That's the mark, that we all try to get. Some of us will see Christ return, and if some of us don't, hopefully we'll be in that first resurrection. And that first resurrection is where all the power is at, And okay, let's read verse 10.
Verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully. Verse 11. And said courageously, These I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again.
Yeah, the brother, at one time he might have fell off and he, wasn't keeping the law, but now he's keeping them again. And from him I hope to receive them again. He's keeping that law now, and he wants the Most High will receive him, So let's go to verse 12.
2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 12. Insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains.
Yeah, so his brother's keeping the law again, and he's going through it. And, we all been, had our slip back or whatever. Well, I had most of those when I was a Christian, because that's what they teach you. It's okay to sin. God will forgive you again. But once we go into that water, up a new creation, then the Spirit puts it on us to keep that law 24/7. So we're gonna keep it 24/7, hopefully. righteous man does fall 7 times, but he gets back up and repents. So it's a good brother right here. Let's go to 13.
Verse 13. Now when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner.
So they're just destroying all these people and all these brothers. I mean, and the whole time his mother, their mother is watching. She's watching everything being done to her children that she gave birth to. Okay? Let's go to verse 14.
Verse 14. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from AHAYAH, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
Yes. They're going to go into the pit. So let's go to Matthew 10, verse 28. And we don't fear men, okay? And Christ told us why we shouldn't fear men. And we know that they can only kill us once. They can't keep killing us, okay? But there is one. Okay, go ahead, read out Matthew 10, verse 28.
St. Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
All right, so that, we got to listen to Christ when he tells us that, man, because they are going to, try to put us in camps. Back in 2011, the government started activating FEMA camps all across the United States. They were putting out job offers to fill up, to get guards and snipers and interrogators and all that. So they're right now they're starting to demonize the Israelites. We heard about that movie, a little documentary that came out where it's called the out of a car I talked about it a while back, but it was Daily Devotion. It's called Daily Devotion. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. It's pretty bad how they try to make us all the same on TV. But that's because before they kill you, they got to demonize you first and make the public be scared of you and call you a terrorist. That's how they get you in America. Everybody's a terrorist that doesn't go along with their agenda or goes against their agenda. They're a terrorist. Okay, let's get 7 verse 15. Maccabees, 2 Maccabees chapter 7 verse 15.
2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 15. Afterward they brought the fifth also and mangled him.
So they're going down the line. Let's go to 16.
Then he looked unto the king and said, Thou hast power over men. Thou art corruptible. Thou doest what thou wilt. Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of the Most High.
So we know that the Most High will never leave us and forsake us if we're righteous. Let's go to Psalms 37, verse 25. That's Psalms 37, verse 25.
Lucky, brother. You said 25 or 35?
Psalms 37, verse 25.
All right. Psalms chapter 7, verse 25. I have been young, and now am old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
So, AHAYAH is never going to forsake the righteous. And the righteous are the ones that keep his commandments. Okay? Tonight, we're remembering the Sabbath and we're keeping it holy. Okay? Also, 2 Corinthians verse 4 and 9, it says, persecuted but not forsaken, cast down but not destroyed. So we know that the death of the flesh is not the end for the righteous. Okay? Okay, let's get the next verse. 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 17.
2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 17. But abide a while, and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed.
Yeah, because these kings and these rulers that rule this world, they all work for Satan. This is his kingdom, and he showed Christ all the glory of him, so we know that he's the head of this world, and they think they're not going to go unpunished, but they're going to get it in a matter of time, especially when Judgment Day comes. Let's get 7 verse 18. 2 Maccabees
verse 18. Verse 18. After him also they brought the sixth, who being ready to die said, be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our power. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us.
Yeah, so, we're going to suffer, especially if we sin against our Father, AHAYAH. Once we come to the knowledge of the truth, there is no more forgiveness for sin, so we can't keep sinning. Be not mistaken that, whatever a man sows, he shall also reap. When you sin, when you reap sin, it brings forth death. So, we have to, and lust brings forth sin. So we have to be careful with those things. We have to be careful what we in our minds. We have to be careful for what we let in our around us. Music that we listen to, movies that we watch. We're constantly being attacked by the enemy. And Genesis, I'll put enmity between thy seed and the woman's seed. So we're constantly under attack. It's a war that we were born into, and they want to kill us because they know that we're God's chosen people. They know that their reign is coming to an end, and Christ is gonna come for 1,000 years and rule on this earth. So they think they can stop it. I don't understand that, but that's what they think. Okay, let's get 19.
Verse 19. But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against the Most High, that thou shalt escape unpunished.
We know that they're going to get punished. They think they're not. They don't even believe that AHAYAH exists for the most part. I talk to a lot of these people at work, and they just think that once you die, you die. But that's what education got them. I know people that tell me that the Bible is not literal; it's just a bunch of good stories. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I believe it's real, and I believe it's literal. So I let them know. And then sometimes they don't want to talk about it ever again, so that's fine. But let's go to Romans 12 and 19. And let's see who vengeance is, okay? Who should we let get vengeance? Is it us? Should we take a gun and if somebody, kill somebody that we love, or should we let the Most High do it? Let's get Romans 12, verse 19.
Romans chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord.
Yep. So the Lord's going to take vengeance for us. He's going to pay. They think they got away with something? No, they ain't going to get away with it. And, he that live by the sword shall die by the sword. Whatever man sow, he shall also reap. You might not reap it the next day or the next month or even the next 5 years, but they're going to get it. I know when I was younger, my cousin got shot and killed, about 19 years old. And same guy that killed him, about 20 years later, he was selling drugs, and somebody shot him right in the face and robbed him. So, hey, he reaped what he sowed. Let's go back to 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 20.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all, and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she bare it with a good courage, because of the hope that she had in the Most High.
So this is a strong sister right here. We always got to give, let our sisters be respected, and this is which I would call her a virtuous woman, a strong woman. And in the beginning, the brother said, we're going to die manfully, so his mother, man, she just, she's strong. Get 21.
Verse 21. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them, verse 22, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you.
So I wanted to just get Sirach 1 and 14 when, get that out. And she, his mother got a good, she's standing up to this king. And, I'll praise this for that strong woman. We're going to get Sirach 1:14, and this woman is so strong that it doesn't mention the father, but for her to have 7 children, 7 men die for what they believe in, that got to tell you something about her. She instilled the law of Moses in her children, in her men, and her boys. Okay. Sirach 1 verse 14.
Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 1, verse 14. To fear the Most High is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb.
Hey, so these brothers, man, they feared the Lord, and it was created in the womb, in this mother's womb, okay? All right, let's get back to 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 23.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 23. But doubtless the Creator of the world, who formed the generation of man, and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake.
So she don't doubt the Creator of the world, and she asking for mercy that they rise up again. They didn't worry about their lives. They gave their lives up. No greater love is this, that a man laid down his life for his brother. So hey, they laid their lives down to keep AHAYAH's law. Okay, they stood for something right there in that moment. Go ahead, get chapter 7, verse 24.
Verse 24. Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised, and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, whilst the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and happy man if he would turn from the laws of his fathers, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with his affairs.
Hey, so this guy right now, he's trying to butter him up like, hey, I'll make you I'll give you the riches of the world. What is the profit of man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? So this brother was young, but he knew better. His brother was like, I'm gonna make you my friend. I'll hook you up. You be rich, whatever. I swear an oath right now. So he was trying to, talk him out of it. This brother ain't, it ain't worth it. So let's go to Mark 8, chapter 8, Mark chapter 8, verse 36 and 37.
St. Mark, chapter 8, verse 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Read.
Verse 37. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
So we know that there ain't nothing you can do. There ain't no amount of money, ain't no amount of land, ain't no amount of anything you own that you could keep your soul from going to hell if you don't keep these laws. There ain't nothing you could do. So the only thing you can do is follow AHAYAH. If you love me, keep my commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. So, there ain't nothing anyone can offer us. No big house, no Cadillac, no $5,000 suits. That don't have no weight with the Most High. Okay? Let's go to back to chapter 7, verse 25.
St. Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 25. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life.
So this king is thinking that the mother is going to talk him in, hey, it's my youngest son. Maybe I could get the mother to, talk him out of, giving his life. But we're going to see the mother ain't going to have no part in that. They didn't want nothing that king had to offer. Okay? He corrupted the temple. They sacrificing them to idols. They got harlots in there. They got, who knows what was going on in there. It was a straight party house is what they made it. Or, a club, so to speak. 26.
Verse 26. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son.
So, you're going to see what she's going to say right now. Let's get 27.
Verse 27. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in her country language on this manner. O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education.
So,
verse 20.
Go ahead, 28.
Verse 28. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider the power made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise.
So our power, AHAYAH, he made everything. So she's telling him, don't even consider anything this guy has to say. He's a man, and he's going to die too. But he's going into the pit. He's going into the fire, eternal fire. Okay? Go ahead, get 29.
Verse 29. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren.
Hey, so, I mean, this mother is strong. And this king was, mistaken when he thought that she could talk him, the youngest son, into, doing what he asked. So he wouldn't die. But nah, this mother ain't going out like that. She believes in the Most High, and she keeping the law. And she knows that, that the AHAYAH is her strength. And I hope, the Bible said that the joy of the Lord is our strength. When we're feeling down and we feeling, we might be taken to a FEMA camp. We just got to think on AHAYAH, man. Think about these scriptures that we read. Think about this story. And just be faithful unto death. And try to obtain that kind of life. Let's not worry. Let's not get down. It'll be an honor to die for AHAYAH and YASHAYA. And I know the RAWACH will be comforting us in that time. Okay, let's get the next verse.
Verse 30. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, Whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses.
See that brother right there, man. That's a strong brother. Young, just strong brother, man. And the Most High is raising those brothers up today. Israel's waking up, and they're going to be the ones, out there, hopefully they'll be saying the same thing to whoever's trying to torment us or whoever wants to behead us. We ain't going out. Hey, we're going to stay faithful unto death. Our brother did a good job raising these boys, these men. Let's get the next verse.
Verse 31. And thou, that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shalt not escape the hands of AHAYAH.
I like that part right there. I love it, man. He just told us, dude, you won't get it. You got us right now, but AHAYAH is going to get you. You ain't escaping. You might live another 10 years or whatever, but you're going to get killed once in the flesh, and your soul is going to be perishing. So that's twice right there. That's killing twice. He only killing them once. Go ahead, I'll get the next verse.
Verse 32. For we suffer because of our sins. Verse 33. And though the living Lord be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servant.
So that's where we, brothers and sisters, when you fall, don't get discouraged. Get back up. And you might be chastised a little bit, but we know in Ecclesiastes or Sirach chapter 2 that we're going to cleave unto him when we're tempted. We all go through something. I'll use myself as an example. Last week I was going through it a lot. And it was just a blessing to be on the class with Marlak and read for him, and the lesson was just on point for me. And I just got, no matter what, however we feel, we can't step away. We got to just stay in His Word, stay with the brothers, stay in this fellowship, do what we can, always strive to do more, because this kingdom ain't coming through observation. The kingdom is within you. So we live in a great time. I don't, hopefully we'll get to see that the return of Christ. But if not, I know our children probably will. Because no man knows the time or the hour. Only AHAYAH knows. And he's given us time to get up out of Babylon. Hopefully we can make it out of here. If not, we need to die like men. We need to die manfully. Let's go to the next verse.
Verse 34. But thou, O godless man, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of the Most High.
So he's telling this dude right now, you don't get it. You're going against the Most High servants, and he's not going to forsake us. Okay. So this guy think he might live a great life or whatever, but he's going to die like every man died once, and then when he gets thrown into the lake of fire, he'll see where he messed up on Judgment Day. We'll read the next one.
Verse 35. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of Almighty AHAYAH, who seeth all things. So, let's go to Matthew 13:30. So we know, that's Matthew 13:30. We know that AHAYAH sees everything, whether it be good, whether it be bad. Everything's going to come on Judgment Day to the light. And, of course, this brother was doing it in the open, so everybody's seen him. And, they don't think about, they think that they just have to take advantage of life now. And they just, live their life like when they die, it's over. But we know that we're seeking that eternal life. Right. Go ahead, read. St. Matthew, chapter 13, verse 30. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
So, the tares, the brothers and sisters that ain't keeping the commandments, whether it be Gentiles or, Jews or Israelites, if they ain't keeping the law, they're going to get thrown into the lake of fire. But the wheat, the ones that do keep the law, they're going to be in the barn. They're going to be with AHAYAH and YASHAYA. Okay? All right, let's get to the next one. 36.
2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 36. For our brethren, who now have suffered a short pain, are dead under the Most High's covenant of everlasting life. But thou, through the judgment of AHAYAH, shalt receive just punishment for thy pride.
So whatever happens to that king, it's going to be just. Now, the pain that we have to go through if we do get tortured or we do get beheaded or we have our, that's nothing, because if it lasts a day or two, what's that compared to an eternity that, we'll have? I mean, living forever and ever and ever, I mean, that's what I seek, the crown of life, I know we all seek that. I can't, some people, I've talked to people about this, and they're like, well, I don't want to live forever. What? Nobody wants to die. But they think that living forever is old, and you ain't going to be able to do what you used to. Nah, man, they don't know about the resurrection. But that's what the world teaches, so, that's what they believe. And we know that the wisdom of this world is foolishness to the Most High. Okay, let's go back to 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 37.
Verse 37. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching AHAYAH that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou, by torments and plagues, mayest confess that he alone is power.
Yeah, so, we say, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. And we know that the Most High is merciful to us and to our nation. I mean, we've been a lot of years with our back turned again from the Most High, not keeping His law. But look at us here today. The valley of the dry bones is waking up. The witnesses, Israel are His witnesses. So I'm very thankful, and I love the Most High for bringing this group together. And I know we all could come from different backgrounds. I know we all did things we're not proud of, but He chose us. So we're coming out the world. Things of the world no longer matter. And we might have to offer our body up too. But hey, this is an example tonight of, what could happen. And AHAYAH tells us all things through His scriptures. He shows us all things. So it shouldn't be a surprise to you if this was to happen. Okay, so let's get the next verse, 7, verse 38. 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 38.
Verse 38. And that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease.
So hey, he's trying to he's looking out for his nation. He's asking the Most High, But let it stop. Okay? To get number 39.
Verse 39. Then the king, being in a rage, handled him worse than all the rest, and took it grievously that he was mocked.
So this king, man, he tried everything. He tried to offer the brother the riches of the world, and he'll be sitting next to him, call him his friend. He tried to have his mother talk him in, to make him that decision not to keep the law and eat that sacrifice and the idols. But nah, he wasn't having it. So this king is mad. Can't get his way. So let's get number 40.
Verse 40. So this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in the Most High.
Yep. So his brother was trusting the Most High. And we all trust him. Okay? We all should trust him and do everything he asks us to do and keep all his commandments. Okay? So, let's get 41.
Verse 41. Last of all, after the son, the mother died.
So the mother saw all her children be tortured and dismembered and burnt in a pan, up like some chicken or whatever. And that had to be a terrible thing for a mother to see. But she took comfort that she would be with the Most High again. And I'm sure she was. But we still reading about that sisters today. And so that's, that's a powerful testimony of what these brothers and this mother had to go through. Let's get 7 verse 42.
Verse 42. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feast and the extreme tortures.
So let us remember, too, brothers and sisters, that when we partake in these pagan holidays, that, these are idolatrous feasts. So, if we decide to go, don't eat and be a light in that darkness. And hey, you don't have to come out and tell everybody they're partaking in, idol worship or anything like that, but there's going to be a brother or sister or cousin or uncle that you might start talking to. Hey, get a chance, plant a seed, man, you know. And, you know, hopefully, you know, that seed will grow. Let's go to Revelations chapter 10. Salakia. Revelations chapter 2, verse 10. And read 11 to our.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
Yes.
Verse 11. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death.
So, also, I want to, well, first of all, you know, we know that he's telling us right here that, you know, some of us are going to be thrown in prison, and we're going to have a tribulation for 10 days. Could be more, could be less, but we're going to have to be faithful, and we will get that crown of life. So that's what I'm looking for, and I know that's a goal that we all have. We want to be in the kingdom. We want to be rule with Christ when he returns and be part of the 144,000. But at the same time, we got people trying to take this from us, okay? They're trying to throw us off. You know we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against principalities and powers in high places. And they work through men, okay? They control men. And so then we have to be careful that we don't let nobody talk us out of this truth, because they do come. Friends, family, co-workers, okay? And we cannot, we have to be careful when we put all our faith in a man, because man will let you down. We always have to put our faith in AHAYAH, in his word, as YASHAYA. Let's put our faith in that. Let's go to Revelations 3 and 11. Revelations chapter 3, verse 11.
Revelations chapter 3, verse 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown.
So, you know, even at the end, when we're being tortured, they say, hey, eat some pork, and they're about to rip your arm off, and you say, oh, okay, I'll eat the pork. Nah, you know, we're gonna lose it all right there. Okay, it's not worth it. Go through the torture if you have to, and know that the Holy Spirit, will comfort you and only give you as much as you can handle. So that was the last verse for tonight, and I hope you all enjoyed the lesson. If you have any questions, please press 5 star.